So in today's video, we're going to be talking about some new drama between Adam Mill and Goblin that's happened in the past day or so over on Twitter, and it's gotten pretty crazy. But first, if you're new around here, give me a sub. So for the people that are unaware and haven't watched a lot of my back catalog or aren't on Twitter, Goblin and Adam Mill have not been friends for a while. I made a few videos talking about the history of their drama, so if you want to, go watch those to understand why this is happening, I would recommend it. But this all started because what Goblin said over on Twitter. So a few days ago, Goblin made a tweet basically calling out Focus V. And if you don't know why Goblin doesn't like Focus V, I've also made a video talking about that. But in this tweet, he says, the owner of Tough Tethers just hit me up explaining how Focus V, creators of Carter 2 and the Carter Sport, stole his product idea and gave him zero credit. The CEO of Focus V, and he adds them, went private shortly after I posted this. Go support Tough Tethers, they deserve it. And after looking at the two screenshots he gave, it does seem like Focus V did steal a product idea. But this isn't why I'm making the video, because if it was just this, I probably, I wouldn't talk about it. But what happened a little bit afterwards is why I'm making this video. Well, if you don't know, Adam Mill is a big fan of Focus V, so I'm assuming he saw the Goblin tweet and, was feeling some type of way. So he tweeted out just a friendly reminder that Goblin is still a bitch, which Goblin responded with, you should cry about it on your 300 view podcast, Unk. Get to it. Which Adam Mill responded with a witty comeback. But, that's not really too far-fetched. If it was just left to that, I wouldn't even talked about it. But it kept going because I'm assuming Adam Mill felt some type of way about not only the Focus V post by Goblin, but what Goblin said in the comments. So he tweeted out again saying, would you rather be a mouth breather or a obese crystal head? Which then Goblin responds with, I'd rather run a successful social media presence than be relegated to hosting shitty can events like a clown you hire for a kid's birthday party and doing a 150 view podcast out the back corner room of a dispo. I would rather be anything than you, Adam Mill. Which then Adam Mill and Goblin went back a few times. I'm not even going to cover that, but you can pause and read it for yourself. But it kept going after that because Adam Mill kept tweeting about him, which led to Goblin quote tweeting one of these tweets saying, this guy walks around wearing a giant gold chain he got for free from his parents' pawn shop and loves to pretend he isn't a Nepo baby. Don't believe me? Check his header. I know more about you than you think I do, Adam. You're pushing 50 and still supported by mom and dad, so you can go live your can influencer fantasy. The only thing separating you from what you just described is the fact that your parents are wealthy enough to get their failure son out the house with their own money. Also, how are you this old and unable to find a date for a wedding? You showed up alone to Yola's. So I have to say about this Goblin response, there's not really any proof that Adam Mill is a Nepo baby, and saying I know more about you than you think is kind of a cop-out answer without any proof. And also about the whole, not able to find a date to the wedding. Adam Mill does have a wife, so that's just kind of wrong. But Adam Mill kind of points that out in his response by saying, I grew up on food stamps. My father didn't help me at all. My mother isn't alive no more. And my wife was there with me at the wedding. So he kind of points out everything wrong with what Goblin said. But then Goblin responds to that saying, you're a deeply insecure man, Adam. You wear the same chain every day no matter how it looks with the fit. Because you want everyone to think that you have money. You don't say you're high, you say you're the highest because you must be better than the rest. You are so permanently scarred by your insecurity you can't even see it, but we all can. You will never be what you want to be, and nobody believes you what you pretend to be. Wife? You have a wife and she didn't attend a wedding with you? You quite literally sat next to two dudes at dinner. Back to your sad life you go. Adam Mill responded to that saying, you wouldn't know because you were scared to make eye contact with me. I saw you in your grandpa's suit that didn't fit your obese self. Nothing wrong with pawn shops. That's where you will be soon, churning in your watches because your ass is gonna have a hard fall off. I've seen it many times. You mad a chain can fit around my neck. And then Goblin said, imagine attending the wedding of someone you call a friend, and instead of focusing on supporting your friend on one of the most significant days of his life, you spend 6 hours staring down the fat 25-year-old you just had Twitter beef with, waiting to lock eyes. Insecurity reeks. So this whole back and forth kinda ended with Adam Ill saying the reason I didn't slap you is because I have respect for Thomas and Rosie. And after that, the whole back and forth kinda stopped. Adam Ill did make a few more tweets after that, but it was just like little subtweeting that he did. And then Goblin kinda stopped talking about it. But if I had to give my opinion on this back and forth and drama, and kind of a conclusion to this video, I would say this is like kind of high schooler-ish. Like, it was just weird to see, to be honest with you. I know these two don't like each other, but Adam Mill feeling some type of way about Focus V blatantly stealing, an idea from another creator, and then Goblin making up just basically false claims about Adam Mill, how he's a Nepo baby, his mom and dad helped him through his career. Like, without checking that stuff and just making false claims is like really weird. Also, I think just bringing up the whole wedding thing is really scummy because that whole day is supposed to be about celebrating Yola's and Rosie's wedding, not like thinking about how you shouldn't, go slap someone, or thinking about another person sitting at a table by themselves or with other men. Like, it's just weird and kind of, some high schooler shit. But as always, I want to know down in the comments what y'all think, and until next time, peace.
She said I could have it. 2016 little bitch, I'm a savage. Johnny Depp sue a bitch, make all the baggage. Then I feel like I'm a fucking bandit. RIP Juice WRLD got perks in the cabinet. Sold them off on my session, that's